Hi everybody, I am Dr. V and welcome to Cooking with Dr. V, and today we are going to make some wild Alaskan salmon with a cabbage salad.
I thought you were going to say with Nickie Kennedy.
With Nickie Kennedy. I have with me Nickie Kennedy, my best friend from first grade, as always, here to help me.
Really not help, just ask lots of questions.
Ask lots of questions. And actually very helpful sous chef, so.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I think what we need to do is just start with the salmon. This is wild Alaskan salmon that we actually got at the farmer's market. And you can see this like beautiful red color. There's a couple things to note about salmon and these certain kinds of fish. This is very high in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are very anti-inflammatory. There's a lot of controversy around certain types of fish, and there's a difficult balance between how much fish should we eat and where should we get it. So the wild-caught salmon has the omega-3 benefits. Once you have a farm-raised fish, you lose the omega-3 benefit if it is being fed grain. So there are some farms that have that are farm-raised salmon that do have the omega-3 benefits, but you have to make sure you know where you're getting your fish from. You're kind of balancing that with the wild-caught because the wild-caught fish can have more mercury in it. So the experts say usually about 3 to 4 servings of fish a week. And again, this is the wild-caught salmon. So this fish is really forgiving and easy to make. I know we always talk about being forgiving here because I want you to learn how to cook these healthy things and be able to make them yourself and not be scared of them. So we usually cook fish and then there's a certain temperature, a certain amount of time. They usually say like 400 degrees for, and then about 20 minutes for every inch thickness. This looks like it's about 2 inches thick, but we're gonna put this on convect bake, so it'll be very high heat. And so we'll have to watch it because it'll probably be done sooner. Fish is done when it flakes. So I really just put it for a certain amount of time and then I check it and I make sure it's flaking. So I don't really have a specific set time or anything like that, but I do make sure that it's cooked all the way through. So literally, it's very easy to season. There's a lot of different ways. You can make glazed fish like miso salmon and all these things. But if you really just want a nice piece of fish and then over a nice salad, then it's not that difficult. So what we're gonna do here is just put some salt. And then we're gonna use some peppercorns. I think peppercorns definitely give us a different flavor than just a really finely ground pepper. It gives us kind of a more spicy or rich flavor. And then I have here I have another video about how to peel the ginger root, but I have here some ginger root that's already cut. So we're just gonna use just a little bit on top for flavor. This is gonna give that fish a nice spicy flavor. Maybe you like ginger, maybe you don't. You can omit it if you like. And then you're just gonna have some cut lemon and literally lay that lemon across the top. And Nickie, would you mind grabbing us some garlic, please?
Ta-da!
Thank you. Very good. That was amazing. Okay, do that again. So this is just cut garlic. You can crush garlic, but this is fresh garlic clove. I'm just gonna put that on the fish like this. So you can see kind of how easy it is. Just put that, and we'll save this for the salad. And then maybe let's grab a little of that toasted sesame oil. On the left, there you go. Thank you.
Go.
So this will be what we make our salad dressing with. But this oil is just like the toasted sesame oil. If you like the flavors of sesame and ginger, then you just want to drizzle this on. If you don't like these flavors, you're just gonna use olive oil. It's kind of that simple. And then, so if you're like, I'm not a ginger fan, I'm not a sesame fan, you can just use garlic, salt, and pepper, and then olive oil. Plus, minus, anything else you like. So if you like, thank you. If you like the lemons, you can add oranges, and then you can add fresh herbs like rosemary is good too. So I think we are ready. Well, it's supposed to be at 400. For some reason, it's at 375. So we'll probably just, that's fine. We'll just I'm just gonna fix this. We're gonna bake it at 400. Let's see. I'm gonna cancel this. Bake at 400, and it'll get up to 400 pretty quickly. And I'll just put this in right now.
You did that so quickly.
Yeah, so you can see how quickly it is. It's not a lot of people are, I think, intimidated by fish, but it's really actually quite easy. I did put it on parchment paper, yeah, thank you.
Just to keep your pan clean?
Yeah, keeping your pan clean,
Okay.
and it kind of crisps the bottom.
Okay.
So parchment paper versus like aluminum foil
Right.
is just healthier. It's a healthier choice for you, and it just kind of makes it a little bit more crispy. So on the bottom. So okay, let's dive in to make the salad. So Nickie, you're on.
I'm on.
Yeah.
How am I
Okay. So you're gonna cut some of this cabbage,
Okay.
and I guess we can both cut it. Yeah.
Okay, there's a cutting board.
Yeah.
Here, I know this is your favorite. You can
So,
take this
well,
I'll
you're
switch
so sweet.
one. There you go. Got it? Right.
All
Is
right.
there a way I'm cutting this?
Yeah, so you're just gonna cut it like in very small, first of all, let's have a proper appreciation for, isn't that beautiful? So nature
Beautiful.
has such a bunch of fractals. Fractals are repeating patterns, and I just think that's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
And attractive. So cabbage is a cruciferous vegetable. So cruciferous means like cross, literally. And basically cruciferous vegetables have a ton of fiber, and they are very detoxifying. So they have a lot of antioxidants. I like to say they clean up the bad messes that we make.
That's a good saying.
And yes, so like if you're gonna have some French fries, then maybe you wanna have
Come home and have some cabbage.
come home and have some cabbage, a cabbage chaser. I'm just gonna throw that in. Now, I probably could have cut this a bit smaller. So, Rose. Could have cut that a bit smaller, but there we go, because it's kind of a bite-sized thing. How are you doing over there?
I'm almost done.
You're fast. So, raw vegetables are also great for like summer because it's cooler out, and if you don't want to have to heat, yeah, just throw it in. And then I will get a little thing to mix it together. So that's perfect, and you can start to see it coming together as it's really pretty too. And then what we have here we have the
you're not using the whole
cilantro microgreens. I think just because it's a full, right. You can see how quickly like cabbage fills the plate. So yeah, so then we have some cilantro microgreens.
And why are they called microgreens?
So they're microgreens because they are harvested early. See these little tiny leaves on them?
Yes.
So sprouts is different from a sprout in that sprouts are harvested actually before they have the leaf, and the microgreens are harvested right when they're just starting to get that little tiny leaf there.
Is there a benefit to having
Yeah,
micro?
they're just very highly flavorful.
Oh.
So as opposed to like the fresh herb, which is also flavorful, but microgreens, you couldn't put this many microgreens into a salad. I'm sorry, you couldn't put this many herbs of like cilantro. If you put this much cilantro,
Overpowering.
it would be overpowering.
Okay.
But the microgreens just have a nice different flavor in that you can use more of them. This is a big secret. So if you have a good oil, if you have a good vinegar or a good glaze, this is a balsamic. And if you have microgreens, then you can make a fantastic salad. So we're just gonna cut the into small pieces. We're gonna cut this orange that we have.
Okay.
And then I have some sliced almonds that I'm just gonna put over there.
Like these kind of pieces, or do you want them in half?
Smaller than that, yeah, just think like, so you wanna flavor throughout, and you want kind of everybody who has this salad to have like a little taste of that sweetness. I'm gonna go ahead and make a dressing. Perfect, yeah, perfect. Yep, put them in. That's awesome. Now we're gonna add about a teaspoon of crushed garlic. So this is fresh garlic. And again, here's that ginger. So I'm gonna add the rest of the ginger to this dressing. And then this is a little bit of honey that my son brought me from Greece. So we're gonna use this as orange honey. This is just to give it, we're just gonna have a little bit of spice from the, especially for you, too spicy, from the ginger. So we're just gonna put in about, I don't know, about a teaspoon of honey, just to give it some sweetness. And then usually it's like a 2-to-1 oil versus vinegar. I am my grandmother's daughter, so I like a lot of vinegar, but it's really to taste. So I'm gonna start stirring that up. Now you can use a champagne vinegar, you can use a white vinegar. There's a lot of different, you can use rice vinegar. I kind of like this glaze because it does have a little bit of sweetness. There's a whole thing about balsamic vinegars, de Modena. Modena is a place in Italy, and there's a lot, chefs really know about Modena and the different vinegars and where they come from, but this is just an excellent choice. You can see how thick this glaze is as opposed to,
It's yummy.
it is very good. As opposed to like a thinner vinegar, you can see how thick this is pouring. So it's a lot sweeter. And then we're just gonna mix that up. The honey will dissolve. The more vinegar you put in, the better it is for the honey. And so I'm just gonna add a little bit more. We said 2-to-1, right? So if you need to have, you don't really need, if you want, if you're trying to figure out taste and proportions, you would just taste it. So you would just kind of, do that and then throw this away and wash your hands and you could figure that out. So I'm kind of just mixing this all together. And then a lot of times I'll put it in and then I'll taste it and then decide if it needs more and I'll put it right on there. So here we're gonna add some salt.
It's beautiful.
It is pretty.
Beautiful salad.
Are you gonna mix it up?
Oh, nice.
And then I will give you another one
Thank you.
there. And then we also found this, how great of a find was this?
So
we found
great.
this, it was so great. We found this sesame orange ginger. We were just gonna get toasted sesame seeds, which is good, but we found this sesame orange ginger.
So yummy.
See why I don't use the whole thing? Now you can tell why I don't use the whole thing. And I'm just gonna put this kind of all over it. Don't be shy. Okay. And I have a feeling that that's not gonna be enough dressing for this, so I'm just gonna add a bit more. Also helps with the honey.
So pretty.
And then we're just gonna pour this all over. And then you're just gonna really mix it in to coat it, yeah. So the nice thing about cabbage is it doesn't get, it doesn't, as opposed to lettuce, it doesn't, yeah, it gets, thanks for that word. Couldn't think of that word.
My one contribution.
So it doesn't get soggy, so you can kind of let it sit and let the flavors meld together. It's a salad that you can eat tomorrow as well, because it's not gonna get too soggy. And so this will serve as the bed for the salmon. So.
Am I doing this wrong? I see.
No, that's perfect. I was gonna ask you if you have any questions. So cilantro, again, very detoxifying. Yeah, so this salad is full of antioxidants, actually. It's also very good, the cabbage, and it's also just, this is also very low carb. So this meal is very low carb. If you are somebody who is diabetic or you are wanting to have a lower carb meal, so you can go ahead and plate it, and then we'll put the salmon on it when the salmon's ready.
In the
Just
middle? On
put
the
it
side?
all, yeah, just put it in the middle.
in the middle.
Because you're just gonna
Like
put
that?
it right,
Is
yep,
that beautiful?
yep, a little bit more. Make sure they get
more?
oranges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some oranges.
Yeah.
There we go. Is that
Nikki
enough?
doesn't eat anything, so
Yes, I
remember there's,
I just don't know how to cook
remember
anything.
it's low carb, so like they're gonna be able to eat a lot of it.
Okay. Oranges.
Now we added almonds, so there's a little protein in the salad, so you can even eat the salad just like it is. You can add, if you want something crunchy, what are those little Chinese, those
noodly things?
crunchy noodles, Chinese crunchy noodles? You can add that at the top. They're processed, so I didn't buy those, but you can if you like those, just to add a little bit more. So in here we have our citrus, so we have vitamin C, and that just puts a little sweetness on it. Okay. And then we have our cabbage, which we already talked about. And then we have our microgreens, so cilantro, very detoxifying herb. And the almonds have protein. So almonds and walnuts are also very good. They're good fats. So they're the top two nuts to have are almonds and walnuts. Yeah.
Okay.
As far as health is concerned, like the healthy nut that they would consider.
Okay. Does it have a lot of protein in it, or just a little bit of protein? Nuts, because I've heard they're good for protein.
They are good for protein. So if you're eating vegetarian, then your staples are usually things like legumes and beans and lentils, those things, and the nuts. So nuts are and peas. Peas are pretty common.
Snap peas that we didn't find.
We did not find snap peas. Yes, we found. Do you want to tell that story?
Some of us don't know what snap peas are, but you think they're green beans, but apparently they're not. So we don't have them in the salad today.
So we were looking for snap peas actually, and Nikki said, "Here they are in the store." And those are green beans, but that's okay because green beans are good. Yeah, I think
cabbage right.
Yeah, you figured out green bean because we did that last time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, and then the ginger, we were talking about ginger. So ginger is very anti-inflammatory. Ginger has digestive benefits. Ginger helps with blood glucose. Ginger helps settle your stomach. It's good for an antiemetic, which is nausea, so it's anti-nausea. It's a warming spice, so if you have a cold or if you are just cold, then it's a nice way to warm yourself up inside.
Do you ever just like eat it?
I do.
You do?
Yes. So, I mean, I love the pickled ginger from the sushi restaurants, but you can also just, it's quite spicy and tart, but personally, there's something called a ginger pickle, and you can put salt on the ginger and eat it, and it helps.
And
it's a
just
good
like a ginger
digestive.
right there that you just cut up.
Yes,
Okay.
it's so good for you.
And you just chew it up.
Yes,
And swallow it.
but not everybody can do that, right? You? I don't think you can do that.
But if you have a tummy ache, you would do that?
Yeah.
Just like one little slice?
Well, I would probably make that into the hot tea then. Yeah,
Okay.
so these little discs that you see here,
Right.
like I would probably put about a teaspoon of those
And you
into
just
some
throw
hot
it
water.
into some hot water. That's
That's
it. You don't
right.
have to have a
Nothing.
steeper
You
or
just
whatever.
keep it in
Just
there.
Keep it. Okay.
So, and then we have garlic, which of course is also anti-inflammatory, very good for blood pressure control. Garlic is very good for blood pressure, and also antibacterial. So I'm sure you hear people like they'll just take a lot of
Vampires.
garlic. Vampires. Yes, vampire.
Yep.
No, I think it keeps the vampires away, right?
Yes.
Or do they?
It's beneficial.
So they don't like it.
They don't like it.
Vampires don't like it.
Just like it keeps.
Yes, but it does.
bacteria
Have you
away.
noticed any vampires anywhere
one.
around here?
No.
See?
None here. It's working.
I know, that's proof in the pudding right there. So
What about the oils?
we'll probably do a whole other
for
talk
another
on
show.
that.
Okay.
But the sesame, yeah, this is considered like a seed oil, but this is like, there are certain times, and again, a whole nother show, but we'll cook mostly with like high heat oils, like grapeseed oil
high
or
heat, okay.
avocado or coconut oil or higher heat oils. Olive oil is not a high heat oil. I'll do a lot of steaming and things like that with water, but and usually add olive oil after. Again, olive oil is probably the best, but it has
the
been
healthiest for you, but you're
yes,
limited
but
by the temperature you're cooking with.
you have to be careful because it has been frequently adulterated. So the top two products in America anyway that are adulterated are honey with high fructose corn syrup and oil, olive oil, pure olive oil, which has, if it's adulterated, then it'll have other oils in it.
So you just look for that on the label? Make sure.
No.
You can't know.
No, it doesn't say. Yeah, that's the problem.
So how do you know what you're
third-party testing is the best way. But we'll have a whole nother talk about that. Yeah. So now we'll just wait for the fish to be done, and then we'll take it out of the oven and we'll plate it. But let's just check it out. And well, it should be about 145, so I'm just going to insert it at the thickest part. We're not even close, so you can see that it's going up very slowly. This one, because it was thinner, it'll be done more quickly. So sometimes I take it out if it's going to be done, but I'll see if it's they're quite close. The other thing I do is like this little area here should flake off, and that is flaking off. So this part is ready, but the center's not. So we'll just give it a few more minutes.
Giant fork. It's right there ready for you.
Okay. Shall we?
Check our salmon.
Shall we check our salmon?
We shall.
Let's check our salmon. Do.
Checking salmon.
All right. So again, we're at 145 for the lucky. There we go. So that'll stay a little longer. This guy, I can already tell, like this guy's flaky. So that's 145. So he's done. So I'm going to take him out, and then you can see how he just like I shouldn't call it a he. How it just flakes apart like that. So we are going to plate this one on the right, and we'll leave the other one in longer.
Different plate?
Sure. Let's put that on there. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. You make cooking so easy. It would not look like this in my house.
Really?
Dishes
Well, we
everywhere.
got all ready, remember?
Yeah.
And we put things in little things, remember? Okay. All right. So now we're just going to, this is probably about 3 servings of salmon. So what we would do is cut like this.
Nice job.
And then, well, thank you. And like that. Yeah, wait till I get it on the tray.
Help.
All right. And then
Use your giant fork for this.
use a giant fork. Now, most people don't like this. It's great to eat, but most
is?
people don't
You
like
can
the
eat it?
skin. Oh, for sure.
Oh.
Most people don't like it.
Switch.
And then that.
That's good to know it's an option.
Right. And then we'll put a few of these
Great,
just
that
for
is so
garnish.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Such a good job. That was amazing.
All
like
right.
real people at home serve dinner that looks like this.
Yes, and it was easy, right? Wasn't that hard?